So the main reason I'm making these videos, and I know it's just a black screen right now, but they're important videos because of what people are going through these days in the way of being targeted and in the ways of systematic abuses that are happening to people. It's too many, and too few people are doing anything about it. Oh, I got my tea whistling at me. So, good morning. Sorry about that. Anyway, let's dive into this next section. Alright, so I believe some very nefarious things are possible when it comes to this level of gang stalking that threatens who you are. It threatens your income. It threatens the freedom and the ability you have to thrive in your own life. And it throws you into that fight or flight mode. And you just have to keep it moving and keep fighting for what is actually right in your life. Many abuses of power have happened, and when you deprogram your mind, it's actually a very old-fashioned form of mind control that they are doing, and they're interfering with your brain and your originality of thought process. And see, when they do this, you're not naturally thinking anymore. Rather, you are a mind-controlled victim. You're thinking in other ways. You're not in your original creative thoughts. You're not in your original focus on what you have to get done in your day. And instead, you're faced with actors that are brought into the programming, and they will prod at you with these street theater tactics that are meant to cause you to become in a heightened level of awareness. So you start taking on that heightened level of awareness that people aren't always as they perceive to be. They might just be flashing their lights at you from behind, and you might move over, think that they can just pass you, or that they're just going to pass you, and that's not happening. Even if there's another lane, because it's not meant to take you off of what otherwise it's not meant to help. Like, it's not meant to like just be a regular person that's just like, hey buddy, you gonna go a little faster, can I get around you, that type of thing. You can realize right off the bat if they flash their brights at you, or something like that. If you move out of somebody's way, they'll go around you. They'll be about their business. But this is to make you know that they're there, and they're not going to pass you. They're going to stay behind you, and they're going to follow you until they turn off and another comes. It's happening as though they're like a tight-knit group of people who are able to and willing to get paid, and probably get paid handsomely, to otherwise style your life in an alternative fashion through many avenues that they can take into your life. They might cut you off in this way, and it can be done for many reasons, and that's to either manipulate you, cause an accident, or whatever it be that it's made to cause. It will and always be your fault, even if it was clearly like you're not at fault. Like someone doing, good lord, I don't know how fast, way too fast of speed, and you miscalculate based on the severity of a situation. You're being tailgated and someone's pushing you while you're sitting there having to take a left turn from a straight lane, and then you realize that too, that person could have been pushed too. So either way it goes, these accidents are clearly being made, if you ask me, to manipulate and cause for you to clearly be shown at fault while you got T-boned. Or it's like it's so it's such a tight place to be put in, and that's exactly what they work on, because that tight place that they put you in is always going to be made to be your fault, even when you are not at fault, and there is no fault to be made, because the only fault that is there is the programming, the gang stalking, the manipulations, the tactical, the actual accident, the performance, the actors, so to speak, crisis actors, if you will. And I wouldn't necessarily call these crisis actors. I'm just putting that into perspective, because that's kind of what they do with false flag events. It's literally Hollywood, but not for the films, but for reality. It's literally taking Hollywood into your reality in a way that messes up your reality. So if they can't get you into an accident or cause you problems, you will see and you will feel others' intent around you, and you will see and feel how other people are looking at you, as like you'll question why are you there? You'll question that they wouldn't otherwise be there. Like if something is amiss, you'll feel it. You'll feel it in your gut. And much of this stuff has to do with feeling your gut. What is your gut telling you? Your heart is pretty dumb. Your mind can only be as smart as you obtain it to be, but your gut is sound. That is where you gain all of your wisdom from, is your gut. But either way, it's just to get you into note in your mind that you're being stalked, you're being harassed, and it's in a fashion that there isn't anything you can do about it. So one day after work, I was on my way home, and a cop was seemingly doing ordinary cop stuff, how they do. And they sometimes go really fast on your bumper in order to cause you to speed, or end up causing you to, pull over or whatever. Well, the snow was piled high. There was only the one lane. the other lane was not plowed. And so if he wanted me to move over to like do something with bald tires on my car, like if I were to do that, I would have been flying off into the ditch. And mind you, this police officer was like bumper to bumper with me for no fucking reason whatsoever. And me just getting off of work, like, I can understand if you got somewhere to be, but motherfucker, you have a car that has way more ability to go around me than I had the ability to go into snowdrift in a van with bald tires on it. Like, not bald, but I know that they were like needing to be getting to the point they needed to be replaced. You know, not unsafe per se, but unsafe given the weather and the time of hour. It was like 11 at night, you know, and there was a snowstorm. It was snowing, and there was just no other way. And so what I felt is that it wasn't that. It wasn't just you needed to get somewhere quick. This was specific to me to cause me to either speed up, go in the other lane, spin out of control, end up in a ditch, being a person of, oh, now we created something, we need to go help this person. It's to create something in order to just do something. If nothing else, cause you to, you know, give you a ticket. You speed up and they turn on their lights, and then you're getting pulled over, you're getting a ticket, you're having, you know, and it's to alter your reality. Again, all of this is to alter your reality. It's to create a fiction out of you. But see, you're set up. Left and right, you are being set up. But this was just different for me because although I've been made aware of these things, I just set my cruise control and treated him as though he was just another ordinary person in my rearview mirror, just hoping he wasn't actually going to hit me, which I'm like, as close as I saw his face in my rearview mirror, I'm surprised his bumper didn't hit my bumper. I'm surprised that's how close he got. I'm surprised how fucking unsafe he made me feel. And it was a guy, because as they did finally go around me. But all of this is just to say that oh, you were just trying to get somewhere really fast, but you don't, I mean, as an like, to be an officer, I'm sorry, but do you have the right to do that? To pressure people so bad, to cause accidents, and just, who the fuck cares about who's in front of you to get to wherever the fuck you were to get to? I mean, literally, this is how this has happened. And I lived in North Minneapolis. And down the block from my house, a 3-year-old kid got ran over by a cop. 3 years old, dead, because of how fast a cop was going. So, and they have all this immunity. All of this immunity, nothing happened. Maybe the family got a couple bucks to pay for the loss of their child or something like that. I don't know. But this is just to go to show that just ordinary cop stuff, how it can affect your life in a way that tarnishes your life forever. And with this kid, his life was tarnished to the grave. You know, I thought about moving over into that other lane, and I just thought to myself, if I do that, I'm literally gonna spin out and spin off into the ditch. If he wanted to pass me like he really wanted to, he could have, but he stayed bumper to bumper to me instead, and it was like, made me really uncomfortable for minutes on end. Like, I'd say like 5 minutes it was before he actually went around me. And it's like, dude, that length of time when you could have just done that in the first fucking place. And I'm not gonna fucking speed up because you're fucking on my back end, you motherfucker. I was literally being tailgated by an officer of the law. Tailgated. Illegally, if you ask me. Very illegally. I'm not talking he was like 2 feet from my bumper. I'm talking he was like 2 inches from my bumper. My back end. So, if that's the same law that applies to all of you, and all of a sudden can be withdrawn from officers at a standpoint in doing this to make a person feel or be targeted in that significant hour or that time of day. Because if that officer was any closer to my car, he would have been in my fucking back seat. And it was just too close for comfort. And yeah, it was scary that he was going to hit me or cause me to go off the road. And yeah, I thought about, if this motherfucker hits me and I fly, like there's ditches on both sides that go downhill and not into good ravines, not into good, like literally, if he clipped me, I spun off, flew into a ditch, I could have died. But do officers think about that? No, I don't think that they do. And furthermore, I think that they know who they are and what work they do. You don't work within the legal jurisdictions of the law. You work within targeted behaviors. And either fashion, you do not deserve the seat of being a police officer doing this kind of thing to people. Winter roads, snow at all-time highs. This was a few years back. We had that big snowstorm. I don't know if you guys remember it, but with pretty bald tires as you could imagine having from all of the financial ruin that I've mightily encountered in my life, I was unable to get new tires before then. I did end up getting new tires as I had to get them as I could afford them and to continue to save up my money for things. But the reasons there, I feel, were made 100% to intimidate me in a most horrific way, because I was literally being already monitored and just having questionable encounters with police at that time. And I don't feel it called for any other reason other than by thinking that it was an attempt to just hang around, be there, in a way that was seemingly, though, that they're specifically there to target me. Like it's not happenstance. I can understand that there is happenstance, but I can also see it to where there's not. And like I said before, when it's overtly being done to you, it's no longer covert. You're not like in the black about it, or you're like not, like I'm choosing to not be in the dark about it, based on what I've seen people come up with, what I've seen get taken offline, what I've seen get censored left and right, what I've seen being deemed as hate speech, like me, people just coming forward. You think that this is some kind of hateful thing? No, I think that this is a very loving thing to do. That's why I'm making it a part of my heart work. But I'm also making it a part of it because, look, I've been faced with some of the most cruel and deceptive behaviors of old, coming from places that are supposed to be able to protect me and protect my thrive, protect my grind. So who's gonna protect me in the tune of, say, $25,000? Or how about 50,000? Or mental damages? How about $125,000? How about I want to go to therapy for the rest of my life based on the kinds of things that they've done to me? I'm gonna pay for that too? Either way, like I've said before, when it's done to you and done to you all the time, and it's being done to you in a way that's to disrupt your original process in your mind, or your origination of life, your original character, it's actually from a very old form of mind control, if you will, because it takes you out of your natural frame of mind. This is how my girlfriend was trying to do it. But she didn't even think that I had already been placed in that heightened state of mind from this very old form of mind control that has been played on me innumerable times. And so, like, her stupid game, for just an instance, was just, what the fuck? You think I'm not gonna see clear through who you are? So no, good luck wearing any disguises around me, folks. It's not gonna go over too well. And if it will, but it won't go for too long. Because as far as where she was at, I had red flags after 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And I said, I don't want to do this with you because I don't want to end up being more hurt. I don't want to end up getting more hurt than I am already at in my life. And then that bitch just ran a train over my emotions every chance she got, because she knew where she fucking got all cagey and went off to. Anyway, getting back to topic here on the gang stalking and harassment, it's just a very old form of mind control, because it's to take you out of yourself, take you out of your original frame of mind, and now you might feel angry instead of just sad, or you might want to lash out. It's to take you up out of your original self. Do you see that? Or you could have been having a great day. You could have been having many plans. Hell, you could have even had a hotel flower petals on the bed, and she disappeared. You could have had a huge surprise for her. Why would you even share that with her if she's willing to do that? Anyway, I'm going off topic here a lot because of the things I have going on in my life. But it disrupts that good day that I've had when we were going about things in a very particular way. Anyway, I'm just having a hard time setting that off of my mind to go into places that I've been wanting to go, so I apologize for that. But just moving forward, these are the kinds of things that will happen to you all of the time when you are a victim of gang stalking and you are made aware of it. So it's being done to you in a sort of way that's meant to get your attention, and it says that you have no resources to fight for you. You have no resources out there that you can go to. And it says you have nobody to talk to. So we're going to get away with whatever the fuck we want to do to you. Whenever we want to do them to you, we're going to do them to you. And no matter how often we want to do them to you, we're going to do it as often as ever. But it's done in that way that's leaving the most amount of psychological impact against you and leaves the least amount of evidence as possible. They don't need other people waking up in droves around you. No, they need you stuck in that hurt locker all by yourself. Say, the car that struck you was that car. The car that struck me was a car that was if it was 1 year newer, it would have had a computer of the evidence of how fast they were going in order to cause the accident against me. Well, I think that's a calculated play. Things of that nature will just happen to you, just happenstance. Oh, you got hit by a 2012. Sorry, the 2013 had it in there, but sorry, the 2012 didn't. Oh, geez. Okay. And mind you, these people all look well-to-do. They don't look disheveled in any way. They look professional. Like, I'm sorry to say, but I even think the lady that hit me seemed like a professional. But whatever, that's just my mind. It's just where my mind goes, and even if it's not true, it's where my mind goes, and it's true to me. It's just like, oh my God, why is this constantly happening to me? Or like, even feeling like that this is absurd. Like literally, I was having the feeling that not only my phone was hacked, my phone was being monitored, like stolen. I'm sitting there trying to work on my gig app, and my gig app wasn't even working correctly until that order came up. And I felt it in my gut that something was amiss about this order, this day, everything. And my plan was to go home after that order. I'm just done with the day, and I'm able to hold myself to the speed limit. But when people are behind me that want to throw me, and it disrupts you completely. It's just absurd to think to yourself that these aren't a possible way to target you. I mean, how hard would it be to monitor your phone being in a certain syndicate? How hard would it be, though? How hard would it be to actually monitor someone's phone to target that person into detrimental situations? I personally don't think it would be that hard. In fact, I think it would be really fucking easy. It's just that behavior is just like, oh my God, what am I going to do about this? Or even, I can't believe that this is still going on. Or I can't believe that this is still happening. Or I'm still being stalked this way. You think these thoughts. And my thoughts are alike when you really just want to know how this shit's going to end. How can you break out of it? How will I ever get justice for the things that happened to me in this way? How will I ever be made whole again? How will I ever get that life back? How will I ever go back in my original mind and heart to where none of this stuff existed in my own mind? I can't. That's the answer. Because sometimes it's just things that'll start from the beginning of the day, scary, and go all the way through the day, scary. It's an old form of abuse, mind control technique that's been being done because it's forcing what they want onto you in a way where you are made to think that there isn't anything you can do about it because, well, you can try all you want, but the only thing that you ever will be called is crazy, and it'll be barking up the wrong tree. If it's happening to you, you just can't ignore it and move on. Like that, you can't move on from it and not put focus on those things. But the short answer is yes. Sometimes you have to thwart yourselves and your attention opposite of what they want your attention to be on. They thwart your attention onto something to be angry. Okay, well, humble yourself and be happy that you see that. But when things actually happen in a complete, entire mess around your life, where a loved one gets hurt, or someone's out to really do you harm, or you get yourself hurt, you lose a good job, or like for some reason you cannot get another job, and you even get hired, and you get these letters of like denial, but then you reach out to the companies, like they're corporate, and say like, I don't really find a reason in here why this happened. And then they can't give you a reason, and it's just new levels of camaraderie between you and the community of being able to work. All of this, I believe, is being done through tactics that are being manipulated to blacklist you from being able to get a job. It doesn't matter what is said about you. It's a matter of having a prominent person walk up to a person in any given place that you could be going and getting a job from, or you could have a job at, and just interjecting little this, little that, whatever it is, to get them to think otherwise about you. Judge the character before the character itself. Hey, let me give you a cover of this guy. Here's the book. I'm not going to give you the whole book, because if I gave you the whole book, you'd actually side with that motherfucker. But I'm going to give you a short cover, and where you're not going to even need to read the book. But let's just face it, people don't read. People don't look into things. People don't like to dig into the dark. But just know that if these things are being done to manipulate you for more sabotage in your life, or you're finding yourself to be more financially ruined in ways, and your relationships aren't working out because they're always so inwardly focused on the things that are happening to them instead of the things that are actually destroying you, or things that they're doing that they can't even focus on to being a good, decent person that's meant to be there for you. Or how about you going to buying her flowers and help take care of her and be there for her, help take care of her house, but help be there for her. And then you can't, because your brain has been rewired into a fashion that's meant to destroy your relationships in general. What I mean by that is that through the tumultuous landscapes of relationships that you've already have had, it's already given you a mind that's leaving you in an already predetermined state that the relationship is determined to fail. And for the most part, you end up with, well, you don't have they don't have the same experiences that you do, and most people don't, but so you can't even begin to wrap your minds around these things. They can't even begin to wrap their minds around the things that you actually are saying, and the parts that they are getting. They'll nod and agree, and they'll understand that they're hearing what you are saying, you are going through. But in reality, they have no idea. They have no kind of effort in their mind of even comprehending it. And in that 0 hour that you are in your life, or in that whatever you are faced with that fight. And I'll just say this, that it kind of sucks, because it's just the fact that a lot of friends in this way will think otherwise about you, because they won't be in that same place with you, discovering the same things that you're discovering, or thinking that you could be in a relationship at all with them. Because look, if you cannot take care of yourselves with some of the things that you're afflicted with some of the gang stalking tactics, you're not going to be able to take care of others. And then that's where they want you to be, because you have to be able to take care of yourself to be able to take care of others. And what a better way to make sure that you can't take care of others than by inflicting so much pain and harm that you can't take care of yourselves. You're always going to be disheveled and going through something. And I'll just leave it at that, really. But you can see how these things can affect a person to not be able to be as apparent as they otherwise would be had they not been so tormented by the things that are constantly happening to them or to a targeted individual community. So what you have to do is gain the appropriation inside of your mind to deprogram your mind from the things that they are doing, and when they are doing bigger and bigger things to affect your whole life, they most likely will affect you your whole life. And most likely you'll just have to succumb to realize that you are a targeted individual. Humble yourself, stay in the faith, stay in your grind, stay convicted to God, your walk with Christ, and just realize that these people don't have any of this in them. They're here and now. They incinerate in the burning hell. After all this is all dust, whatever. And most part, it's humans that are going to make the whole universe become dust. Humans. Filled with demons, mind you. Humans. So what you have to do to gain access to your mind is just to deprogram yourself from the things that they are doing and do what you have to do to stay alive. Reprogram your mind in such a way that no matter what they can do to afflict you with, you will always be able to find that inner peace within, that God sets within the experiences that you are having, and still get to enjoy yourself and your mind. The things that they hate most are seeing you do better for yourselves. They don't want you to change your direction to make your life better. They don't want to see you thriving. They don't want you to be doing any inner work. They don't want you to become morally sound. They don't want you to be a heart-centered true person of sound mind, body, spirit, or soul, man or woman. Excuse me, that was my alarm. They don't want you to get off drugs. They don't want you to become a better person. They want you to be the targeted person that they need you to become the easiest person to fuck up, because that keeps you within their system. It keeps you going to the places that they need you to go to. It keeps you going to allopathic care instead of seeking out any kind of holistics. It keeps you stuck inside of the system. The system that will stop at nothing to get you to come back to the school of being forced to have to keep coming back to the system. They will set things up to cause you to specifically have to keep coming back, because even though that they're aware that you're aware, now they need to target you in that way to make certain that you aren't going to speak up about it, or to put you into places, cause you to go homeless, cause this and that, to get you into places where you're not going to be able to stick up for your story. Listen, before I got my house, I was hacked. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. You never know where this stuff is coming from. You have ideas, but people just don't know what they're doing. They just don't. They don't know what they're doing because they don't know the heart-centered value in the places that you're willing to move inside of the darkness that would ensue and encompass their own lives. Their own lives. Their own mental well-being. Their own financial resources. Their own fulfillment. Their own protection and safety. But because people don't have that kind of thought process within them, and I know a lot of people also do, but it just takes an awful lot for a person who isn't experiencing these things to that level, who actually believe that they can happen. If they aren't happening to you firsthand, does not mean that you can automatically just suggest that you're all just making it up. I'm sorry, but hundreds of thousands of us out here are not making it up. Hundreds of thousands of people out here are not being censored for nothing. Hundreds of thousands of people out here, or well, the many holistic doctors, for example, aren't and haven't been, oh, just so happen to be dead in a pool or dead in a river or whatever. Just so happen to be murdered, if you ask me. For no reason. They just didn't happen to be murdered for no reason. Do your own thought process. Come up with your own reasonable way to think about these things, because it takes an awful lot for a person to be experiencing things that they have going on to come up with the reasonable thought to think that this isn't just an evil world that's just evil and evil begets evil. This is like legitimately a plan in place to target citizens in this country, dissidents, Christians, artists, people that are speaking out, people that are doing light work, heart work, people that are doing that inner work, people that are trying to do something with the world in a better way than these other facets of things are happening, like Facebook. Do you not think that Facebook could pay everybody? Billy Gates buying up all of this land so he can inject the vaccination inside of our fruits and vegetables and do gene therapy with our lettuce and shit. Do you really want to trust these people? I don't. I don't trust not one of them. So yeah, call me paranoid, call me delusional, call me having some kind of mental health issue, call me crazy, call me whatever you have in your DSM bullshit manual you have. But they simply don't want to make any kind of awareness about what you have within you, because they simply don't want you to be able to make anything that actually wakes anybody up, that tells them, maybe I don't know their whole story, and maybe they're right. You know how much it would actually take to actually say everything? I mean, to get some of you to believe what I'm saying to be true, I think it would take a whole lifetime of just nothing but trying to prove it to you. I'm not out here to prove it to anybody. I know what I believe. I just want people to make up what they believe to actually be true for themselves. And finally, if you have someone on your side who knows that you're not like that, who knows that you're not having some kind of paranoid delusions, and they aren't delusions, at least from my standpoint of the programming being done to humans to treat people like subjects to their newest technologies. They're like gun-toting hippies. They're just happy to use a gun for the first time. And they're doing these things and they're using them on you, federal felonies at levels that goes against everything moral in the compass, the whole book of like the whole, I mean, the Bible for sure. It's definitely against that. An average day citizen being targeted in this way that wouldn't otherwise be having these things happening, or having these happenings going on. My answer to you is that people just need to wake the hell up already and realize what the truth actually is. If you aren't going to research onto these things for yourselves and formulate your own opinion on these things without having some divergent government tell you what you should be thinking about this or that, you're not thinking for yourselves, and you are still very programmed. by the indoctrinated crap that they're selling you when you were growing up in school? Do you think that they're educating you? Do you think that they're teaching you how to think? Do you think that they're trying to show you how to rationally use what's out there in the world to rationalize for truth in that fashion? I don't think so. Their truth is a lie. Their campaign is a smear. And everything that they do is just a flat out deceptive lure into slavery. It's in order to reprogram your mind from thinking any way that you wanted to stop you in your tracks. And you'll learn in the helplessness. You'll learn in the pain. You'll learn in everything that they'll set up in your way to get you up out of yourselves in that sort of way. They want to steer your mind in that direction that tears you down and causes you to sort of collapse in your passions and in your dreams and give up on yourselves essentially forever and not care that these things are happening to you. Because the goal of these programs is to get you to kill yourselves, to get you to do harm unto yourself and achieve these ends. They achieve these ends sometimes when people don't have a grasp on what other people might be doing to force that kind of pain and to force them into that kind of mind frame. And in that kind of mind frame, you really don't see how life can be better. Because after all I've been through, after what I've recently been through, no, people don't have a grasp on this kind of thing like I do. Because the things that they did do wholeheartedly told me that they would break me completely. Finish me. All I know is that no matter what these people do, and no matter the lengths that they will go to get away with this kind of thing in this life, they will not be able to in the afterlife. And so help me God, they will not be continually able to in the days to come. God willing, protect me and everyone else that decides to move in this fashion. Because we're barking dog. And these are simply all of the same tactics that were used in the Bible as lessons for people to learn from. And obviously, instead of learning from all of those things, they're clearly and flat out running away from them. And you'll see it. It's a huge moral decline in society everywhere, even in these noonday churches, for the most part, society just taking a part in that big part that no longer cares as to what is actually happening to other people around them. And above all of these things, as it says in the Bible, is charity. So you're twisting the word, you're taking the word, you're making it what it wants, you're making it what you want it to be. But it is not the word of God. And that is not the Gospels, and is not what the Gospels was teaching. That is why you can only find the truth within the King James Version Bible. All the others are butter knives. The King James Version, however, the King James Version is the sword. It's more than the sword. It's your armor. It's the sword. It's everything you need. But these things can and most likely will continue over time. The more people just allow these things to continue without creating some kind of oversight into the intelligence committees and stop them from being done to continue to carry out these crimes against humanity, it will continue to get worse, and the defense budget for these things of this nature will continually go up year after year. And many more people will become afflicted with this sort of technology and this sort of gang stalking that's going on in their lives. When these things are being done and they're happening to other people around you, and you just let them happen, you just stay idly by. Or how about you become a partaker even after knowing a person for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. What the fuck is wrong with your minds, man? Okay, you're going to allow these things to happen to the other people. What are you going to do when they start to happen to you later on down and there isn't anyone there to help protect you from it? Unless people come together now and do things to try to change it now, it's going to go on forever, and soon there won't be any way to change it. You'll all be locked in cages, and the only kind of freedom you'll have is using their digital dollar that's meant to literally wipe away every fucking ability you have of earning anything. You think the medium of money is bad now. You think the medium of that kind of currency is bad now. Just you wait. If we don't change the money game, and if we can't actually get paid something that is an actual good exchange for our time and energy spent, it's a powerful statement to make, but you're all fucking slaves. Try to prove me wrong, but you know it's true and you feel it too. And either way, if you don't think that you're a slave, you're at least allowing for others to be slaves. Because they won't be able to see the difference between what is normal and what is gaslighting or manipulative behaviors. They won't be able to see through them. When you start removing demons from your life, you remove them in a fashion that you're now able to see them in others. People don't see that you see them in others, but you see them. There already are people who cannot recognize these things for themselves, and it makes them the easiest people to fuck with naturally on the medium of how the government is willing to assist them right into the life or status. And it messes with them so badly so that these people are so filled with demons in their minds and in their lifestyle choices that they consider this fun. They can laugh, drink, be merry, but inside, these people are the most broken, fucked up people that could ever exist on this planet. They show no moral culpability, have no moral culpability, no moral compass. And their behaviors are all of that old self, or the old ways of the world. So they want to be a part of this world, etched in the salt of the earth. Like, no, I just don't think that people see it for what it actually is. Gang stalking and targeted individuals are being pushed, and the idea is to push them in such a way so badly so nobody is going to want to be around you or come to you to help you. And it's sad because if people were to actually rise up and actually realize the power that they had, we could do a lot of things. A lot of things. But the power starts with one. It starts with you. And it starts with changing the littlest parts of your own hearts and doing the inner work necessary. So from here on out, I hope that you guys actually do take me up in a Heartworks journey, a Heartworks mission, take up a Heartworks project, anything to encompass that value that I'm trying to bring out with Heartworks. And it's to create this movement. And out of this movement, beautiful things are going to come. Beautiful things are happening already. I just hope that you guys all stay tuned for when the medium of everything else that can come through this movement comes. I'm going to be doing everything to make it so. I just hope that you guys are all there when it does come to light. I hope that you guys are all there. Love you all. See you on the next side. Please feel free to add me on Facebook. I really appreciate the subscriptions, and I hope you guys like my content. I know it's not much of a video right now because it's a black screen, but I do plan on moving into areas that are going to be making better content as well. So I hope you stay tuned and stay focused, at least with where I'm trying to go with Heartworks. Thank you very much. Till next time, peace and God bless.